Hey guys, welcome to Brickstars. In today's video, we're going to be building 3 exciting battle packs. Battle packs is something that LEGO used to do where you would get several minifigures, a lot of accessories, and it was just a great way to expand your LEGO world or add to your set. In this case, we're going to be building off of the Dungeons & Dragons collectible minifigure series. This was a very popular minifigure series, and specifically, we're going to be using these 3 minifigures as the base. So we have the Archer, the Dwarf, and this Dragonite, the Dragonborn Knight. We're going to start using those, and this is part 1 of our Battle Pack series where we're going to use these 3. We hope to build Battle Packs based on all of the minifigures from this lineup. We're going to be showing you the Dwarves, our Scouts, and the Armored Dragonites. First up, we've got our Dragonites. Now, this is a torso and minifigure that honestly is one of our favorites that LEGO's released. It's so detailed. The leg printing, the arm printing, the armor that you get with it, and the shield. You can see here this first minifigure we've just used the out-of-the-box minifigure and added a cape to it, a helmet with those dragon details that we've added, and he turned out really majestic, we think. You'll notice that for a lot of these minifigures, we're using the original collectible minifigure torso, but in some instances, we've swapped them so that we use the back of the torso, and in some cases, we've used torsos from our collection that we think work really well with the battle pack. So this guy, he's using the armor that came with the Dragonborn Knight, and we think that's a great detail. We love the silver and the gold, how it ties together. So that's why we've given him this gold weapon. And we've put this helmet detail on top, which also comes with the minifigure. We think it works great on top of the helmet here. So these guys are filled with a lot of armor and they have different weapons. So we really wanted them to look like the ultimate battle knights. Next up, we're going to be looking at a minifigure where we used an older torso. We think this torso works really well because it has that shiny silver color, but also touches of white throughout the print, which tie in really nicely with the leg printing of the original minifigure. And we don't think it looks dated or weird at all. It seems to fit in perfectly. So if you were building an army of these guys, you could definitely use torsos like this. So really pleased with how they turned out. And as a small added feature with these battle packs, we added this kind of flag stand for them, and using their colors, the blue and white kind of customized shield there. What we really wanted with all these battle packs was to make it so that if you purchase them, you could make little scenes, you could use them just as kind of a play feature or adding into an existing town. So in the past, LEGO would just give minifigures, but each of our sets has a small side build, if you will. Here we've got the Scouts, and I just love the color balance on these minifigures. We've actually used some detailed leg printing as well, but that orange and dark green just looks so good. And you can see here the back of this torso works perfectly as well. The first guy, we've added other Dungeon and Dragon minifigure legs and this pup as well. The idea with these guys is that they're kind of scouts. They don't use weapons, but they're master trackers. So in this case, he's got a torch so they can go through thick forest that's dark or caves, and that dark green forest hat and dark green cape complement the torso perfectly. Just a really good looking minifigure. We created him a couple months back and we've kept him in our collection because we think he looks so sharp. This guy uses the back of the torso, and we love that little dagger and pouch that's there. And we've given him some of these older, I believe they're from the Kingdoms lineup, legs, but they work pretty good here. And he has the shorter cape, almost like a half cape. We've given him the orange beard, which I think looks great with this kind of man bun hairpiece. He looks like a great scout figure, and in his case, he's got a little bit of a knife, more so for getting through thick forest or opening up certain things. And the final guy we have here is a little bit different. This is a torso from, I believe, the Build a Minifigure section within a Lego store, but we swapped the arms to dark green to tie in with the other minifigures, and we gave him kind of this telescope monocle, if you will, so he's able to track his targets from a distance. And we've given him a dark brown cape and a brown hood instead of the green, just so they're not all the same, but we think it works pretty good here as well. And finally, looking at all four of them together, or all three of them together, but the fourth accessory build, we thought it would be great if they had a little camp tent set up. So we imagine they'd be tracking some enemy or someone, and they need a place to stay and rest. So this gives you the opportunity to have a little build and a campfire, and obviously this is just a starting point. You could expand onto this, but for a battle pack, we think this is pretty good. Let's get into the dwarves. These guys we love because we use these shorter legs to kind of make them stand out as dwarves. And dwarves are honestly a faction that we don't have a lot of. I wish we had the dwarf helmet to use here, but this Viking helmet with the silver horns we think looks pretty good. And you can see we've actually made our own horn piece for this minifigure. We tried to make it similar to the one that's printed on the torso, and we think it works pretty good. I love the red, the printed arms here, the neck piece, the fur there, and you can see here the back with that horn piece. But really cool looking minifigure, ties in very well with the Lord of the Rings torsos, which we've used here to kind of create the old leader minifigure of the bunch here. We've given him this gray and brown shield, and he's got a slightly different axe piece, and he's got lots of different gray accessories throughout. So the gray cape, we really love this hair piece, kind of a braided mohawk of sorts, and really cool just to tie it in with the other ones. We think the red of the torso is a really great pair with the rest of the minifigures. And the last minifigure here is just using that back torso print again that shows the horn and the new axe piece. We are really excited to get this weapon in our collection. And again, you can see that arm printing very detailed. So we think these three minifigures would work great to build an army and expand on it and build them kind of a almost cave-like fortress, if you will. Very reminiscent of the Lord of the Rings dwarves, but again, another minifigure that we thought was great from this series. And for them, we gave them an accessory build that was just a kind of weapons rack. So we imagine that they're crafty blacksmiths and that they would build a lot of their weapons. So this is again just a starting point you could add on to this, but gives you a couple extra accessories in the battle pack, and again opens up the imagination. So those are the three battle packs that we've created from these minifigures from the D&D lineup. Again, it's a very popular series. I know there's a lot of videos out there and a lot of different minifigures that people have done, so hopefully you guys liked our take on these minifigures. We tried to use some of our own torsos from our collection and add some variety to the mix, and again using that back printing to maximize the diversity. So let us know in the comments what you thought. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
Stay tuned for more videos, more mocks, and a lot of fun stuff.